Chapter 5, The Universe. Your Universe. Aralam. The universe in which you reside is one of many hundreds in operation at any given time upon the field of creation. I am not, at this time, at an evolutionary level that will allow me to give you the specifics of the multiple universal creation in a form which would explain the full form and extent of multiple universe actions. I can and will, however, give you a very simplified explanation of the universe in which you, Earth, your solar system, your galaxy, all the other planets and species reside within the universal field that you inhabit. As I stated above, the universe in which we reside is only one of many. This universe was deemed to be created by the combining, colliding, mixing of one universe, which we will call MIL72/IV for this writing, with another universe, LFP2/004. MIL72IV was a very old universe whose species had evolved well past the ones in which Earth resides now. MIL72IV was specifically paired with universe LFP2004. Universe LFP2004 was a very young universe, which was very spare in planetary substance, but had a very rich mineral, gravitational, dark fabric frequency, and organic content. LFP2004 also contained immense amounts of inert and floating gases, as well as a very high frequency-based dark matter. The two aforementioned universes were combined in order to create a new universe, 6318XCAN, which is the one in which you and your Earth resides. The numerical and phonetic symbols that I use in this text are meant to simulate numeric coding that an Earth human can understand at the basic levels of mathematics. In reality, the numbers and letters listed are and would be of such astronomical size, if given directly, that the human understanding of mathematics would not comprehend. So for this book, I will continue to break down the mathematic symbolism to its largest common denominator for your understanding. The larger point I'm trying to make is that there is an absolute order to the creation of, naming of, frequency of, and characteristics of newly created universes. I will explain in general terms what the universe in which we live might look like from an outside view. All universes are roughly circular in shape. If you could look upon our universe from the outside, it would look similar to a large soap bubble that has a layer of mercury or shiny mirror encasing it. This outermost layer is an electromagnetic resonant superheated field of pulsing frequency vibration, which was put in place by the Creator. When I use the word sound, I do not mean a sound a human or most any species could hear. I use the word sound only so that you might understand that the outermost casing of our universe is a vibrational place-time frequency. Our universe floats along with others in what I could only describe as an unending, dark, velvety soup of energetic matter. It is an endless canvas of possible creation. In this arena, universes float side by side, above and below each other endlessly. The exterior of each universe is generally circular and coated with the reflective energies, so that they are able to float and gently bump against one another without ever infiltrating each other or crashing into each other in any way that would initiate a mixing of the two. The only time that universes are allowed to combine is if the Creator deems it so and combines them manually. On the inside wall of the outermost barrier of our universe, time actually folds back in upon itself, so that the outermost range of the universal boundary cannot be traversed. It is impossible for any craft, vessel, organic species, matter, light, sound to break through the outermost barrier wall of the universe in which we live. There is a self-cleaning mechanism at work that is much like a heart in a human body. A human heart constantly pumps blood around the whole body to clean, nourish, expel, move nutrients to the outermost skin of the body. In the same way, the outermost walls of the universe will constantly pulse all matter coming upon its edges to be recycled back into the dark matter of that universe. In that same system lay the black holes / wormholes and supernovas that our universe contains. Although black holes and wormholes can and have been used for travel by species for many eons, if any vessel were to traverse them out to their final end, each one leads back to some frequency point which connects to the outside constraints or skin of the universe in which we live. For example, if you were to traverse a black hole or wormhole to its very end without getting off at some destination, you would be recycled back into the dark matter possibility field in which we all live. That being said, there is no physical way to pierce this outer skin without being absorbed back into the dark matter of creation for our universe. This is a law put into place by creation in order to keep the evolutionary track of one universe from contaminating another. I use the word contaminating not as a judgment, but as a purity issue, literally. Universes are only collided at the hand of the Creator God, at the Creator God's time of choosing. At the inception of the creation of a new universe by combining two older universes, the decision is made by the Creator God, the determination of souls which will be transmuted to the new universe for evolutionary purposes. In this way, many souls from each of the predecessor universes may be joined together in the new creation. When the decision is made to combine two universes, an energetic skin is created which encases the two preceding universes fully within it. At that time, the Creator will allow the separate outer skins of the two universes to instantaneously dissolve. Upon the point of dissolution of the skins, the complete contents of each preceding universe combust and assimilate within the new skin. This is what you refer to as the Big Bang. Upon this instant mixing of universal ingredients, a wholly new substance begins to take form. All of these actions happen over great spans of time in the understanding of humans, with the exception of the initial contact and or Big Bang, which takes place in less than a measurable flash of time. With the Big Bang moment, two previous universes which existed in space that were practically unfathomably huge, they touch and collapse inward through the eye of a needle, after which one new universe expands and breathes outward. This new universe will be, as you know, a primordial soup of energy, gases, gravity, dark matter, and the most minuscule particles of what will congeal to become organic living and inert matter. Subatomic particles of every energy manifestation from each of the preceding universes are also floating in that soup. With time and the pulse of the Creator God, these too will begin the evolutionary process. These will literally be the seeds of all things, objects, planets, species, energies, and levels of processing, which will grow and fill the new universe. Your present universe was created in just this way. I am told that this constant restructuring, rebirthing, and evolution of universes goes on infinitely. What the creation field for this activity is beyond my scope of enlightenment at this time. What I am told is that the hand that creates is the hand of what humans call God. On other habited planets and planes, the Creator God may be called different names, but the Creator God is still and always the Creator God. Every universe, including this one, is multidimensional. There are scientists on your planet at this time who believe, mistakenly, that they may be able to traverse multiple universes. What they are actually beginning to discover are the multiple dimensional regions of our universe. This universe has approximately 2,200 dimensional regions. Earth sits at approximately the 560th dimension, although there is an evolutionary push for Earth at this time to move upward, which will change its vibration. Your whole galaxy is moving upward at this time. as well as many other close galaxies in your level and sector. To explain this simply to you, although the universe sits in a kind of circular shape, there are within it approximately 2,200 levels of energetic existence. You could imagine these energetic levels as stacking up one on top of the other. Many of the levels of existence in your universe are lower than Earth, made up of rocky planets with no atmosphere, gases, inert frozen water, dark energy, gravity radiation, etc. There are billions of planets which are close to Earth's level of existence, just above or below. They will be inhabited by some organic life, but the ones below rarely make it to the level of energetic travel within the universe. There are many planetary systems which retain some form of organic bodies but are at much higher vibrational levels, 600 to 780, who have fully mastered the travel capabilities that allow them to traverse the organic universal levels at will. Between the 780th and 890th level, there is a buffer zone of levels which acts as the travel line to the lobby, where I reside at this time. All of the levels above the level of the lobby are specifically for evolutionary processes of the universe at any given time. These higher levels of existence are put in place by the Creator to assist all evolution of souls, planets, species, timelines of the universe. This is why when any organism housing a soul moves from one lifetime to the next, they will traverse back to the lobby in order to make decisions about that last lifetime. In every universe, a kind of structure is in place for those species who begin to move out and travel from their planets. I would liken it to a kind of energetic postal code. As I stated above, our universe is, if you can imagine, generally oval or spherical in shape. There is a bit of sonic movement in the outside skin of our universe as it pulses constantly in order to continue growth, recycling of energy, and movement. Our universe is a closed system with its own tools and mechanisms of rejuvenation. All universes that are in existence at this time, to the best of my knowledge, are working within this type of system. Our universe at times may come close to others floating in the creation fabric, but is smoothly moving with no true contact, much the way two magnets will have polarity from one another. Keep in mind, when I say moving, I'm referring to movement that would traverse eons and eons of Earth's perceived time. The outer skin. The outer skin of the universe is literally the zone or skin which holds all of the continually reproducing dark matter in place for the universe within it. The outer skin of our universe is based upon a combination of gravity, antimatter, light photons, and frequency, all of which are mixing in a form that creates a completely new element. Suffice it to say that this element, were you able to see it with a human eye, would appear to you somewhat like a mirror or mercury. I am in no way indicating that the outer skin is made up of such, but that if you could imagine traveling to the outer skin, this is what it would look like to you. The outer skin is literally structured like a bag, or if you would, a balloon. The whole of the universe is held within it. Nothing from within a universe ever touches this outer skin, as the event signature will always turn away every particle of the contents of the universe back upon itself, folding inward as an ocean wave into that universe. The outer skin is not meant to be traversed. This has nothing to do with keeping species within their own universes. It is literally just a mechanism of holding. The outer skin is the vast holding mechanism for the universe in which we live. Every universe has an outer skin, I am told. At the outer skin of our universe, there is no time, there is no movement. There is what humans might call nothing. There is a complete lack of all movement and energy. The substance of the skin has no innate character. If you were sealed into a chrome box, you would just be there. There is a finality to this skin. It is only through the Creator, God, that it can be taken down. I have been taught that the chemical energetic frequency combination which goes into the making of the universal skins is only known to the Creator God. I know that there are species in our universe who have traversed closely to the event signature and were not able to see or sense with any kind of energetic or manual readings anything other than a stopping point, where they assume the universal skin might start on the other side of the event signature. The outer skin is a totally pristine area which we learn is able to ebb and flow to change its form somewhat as the universe pulses, changes. But the general shape stays round, oval, or some variation of this. The outer skin has only the components which it is made of, and nothing from the inside or the outside of universes is allowed to traverse it. It is pure. This pristine makeup is what keeps its integrity complete. There is a mirror-like perfection to the outer skin of the universe. I do not have access to the number of universal evolutions that are in process at any given time. The creation may have thousands of universes floating side by side, each in its evolutionary path. We are taught that only the Creator God can decide when two should be merged to create a new one. We are also taught that due to the holy nature of the materials that make up the outer skin, none of the components are wasted. There is never any waste upon the merging of two universes. Because the outer skin is always moving and undulating with the special needs of the universe which resides within it, the area in square miles is constantly changing. I mean to say that should the outer skin be stretched in one area, it will balloon in another. The outer skin will move and adapt to the needs of the universe within it. The one important quality that the outer skin has is that it does not get weaker in an area where it may be stretched or expanded. The tensile, frequency-based energetic strength of the components stay exactly the same no matter where you would measure it, if you could measure it. As an example, a 300-pound anchor chain on Earth would have a completely different tensile strength to lift cargo than would a 5-foot length of sewing thread. Obviously, on Earth, the 300-pound anchor chain would be millions of times stronger than the thread. At the outer skin, a section of the skin that was stretched to 300 feet in diameter would have the exact same tensile strength to hold the universe as a 300 million mile section. The components of the outer skin remain at the exact same strength no matter what the size of the traverse. Looking at it another way, one drop of the outer skin components will hold in as much matter as the whole. It is statically strong in 100% form no matter the amount, thickness, depth, or percentage of coverage. The outer skin is just that. It can be as thin in places as human skin or as vast as a galaxy in another, and it retains a continuous tensile strength, which is impenetrable and unbreachable except to the Creator. It is the universe's defense and safety. The event signature. The event signature is the region which is also skin-like in its construction. The event signature resides between the outer skin and the dark matter fabric, or DMF, of the universe. The event signature is 100% fusion in nature. It is in continual rotation in the manner of what you might imagine is the shape of an ocean wave folding in upon itself. The event signature is in an unending folding upon itself, and its sole function is to allow every kind of universal matter, energy, and substance to be slowly pulled into its wave and gently redirected back out in the form of dark matter fabric and back into the enclosed universe. The event signature is not a region of space-time which can be penetrated or gotten through. The event signature is the place where all of the contents of a universe are eventually recycled into the original formless potential matter that is the dark matter fabric. All wormholes and black hole activity find itself eventually leading back to the event signature. In this way, when a black hole consumes galaxies, stars, and matter around it, that matter is recycled out to the edges of the universe and the event signature to be recaptured and reused at a future time in the dark matter fabric. Please note, however, that no beings or species who have a soul at any given time or universe will find its soul recycled. Only organic matter and measurable energies are recycled to the event horizon. Should an Earth human be shot into space and eventually die in a capsule, the soul of that human would move on to the lobby for reconciliation. The organic body of that human, as well as his or her capsule, could float in space for eons of Earth time, finally to be gravitationally absorbed into a black hole, and that energy would eventually make its way to the event horizon and be reconstituted as dark matter fabric. This process may take time expanses that would be so large as to be nameless on your planet, but that is the cycle. If a vessel were to be at the edge of the universe and near the event signature, they would only see the universe mirrored back at them. The image that would appear would seem to indicate that the universe went on forever. It is, however, the mechanism of the event signature to mirror back the space from which it is creating dark matter fabric. I am in no way insinuating that our universe is not unfathomably large. It is, and has many regions, energetic levels, and dimensions. The event signature is a very simple fusion band which keeps everything recycling and new for the constant evolution in our universe. The DMF, or dark matter fabric. The DMF is what your scientists are now calling the God particle. This energy is the basis for every possible thing created in our universe. The DMF is everywhere, in that it is the literal space between anything that can be seen and measured and is constantly waiting for new instruction for creation. It is literally the Creator God's clay, if you will. The DMF is gravity-based, and what your science is missing at this time is the spiritual dynamic of the DMF and its function. All matter, whether it be organic or energetic, is literally the DMF slowed down to a fraction of its normal vibration frequency in order to become something tangible. When I say become, I mean this literally. In order for the DMF to become or take form or be, it needs the intent of either the Creator God or some in a group or one of the many sentient species in our universe to agree upon it becoming. I intend this in its most simple and literal meaning. The Creator God literally intended our universe into being. The DMF has no ability to decide upon its own where to come into being, how to come into being, or what it will or should be. The DMF is pure possibility which resonates or dismantles its beingness upon the intention of a sentient being. You might ask, who intended the planets, gases, and other objects in our universe? The initial intentions would have been the Creator God's movement of intending into being in order to be a stage, if you will, for the evolution of sentient beings of all kinds, as well as organic, microbic, amicrobic, and all other manner of life. The DMF has no ability to intend itself into any form. It is a literally formless until such time that an intention is directed upon or toward it. Then, and only then, through the gravitational resonance frequency manipulation of the intender or the observer, if you will, that the DMF will coalesce in the intended form. The strength of the intention, the focus of that intention or observation, also has a very large impact on the intricacy of what is created. Emotion is also a very large aspect of the intention observation. The more emotion a sentient being places with the intention or observation, the more core energetic information will be cast into the gravity of the DMF. When the oldest species in this universe, who are now long gone, began to become sentient and aware of themselves, the DMF began to resonate to their intentions or observations. This is a basic fundamental truth that humans are just now beginning to look at. There are organizations on your planet at this time that are well studied in the intention observation energy uses of the DMF. However, those few organizations are not public at this time. It is time for the whole of the human species on Earth to understand that the DMF is there, responding to your intentions and observations, whether you know it, understand it, or believe it. This being true, as a species, you would do well to begin to look at what you are intending or observing, either consciously or unconsciously. You are more powerful than you know and are creating every moment, whether you are concentrating or not. Many species have fallen to dust because they did not grasp the power of themselves as a species intending negativity into the DMF. Perfection is not the aim, but certainly benevolence and soul growth should be foremost when understanding the use of the DMF. The DMF, through its sympathetic gravitational frequencies, is also a fully functioning and ever-generating power source. Many species in the universe have learned to harvest this power to travel through galaxies and power whole planets. There have been 2 species that have visited the Earth in your very ancient history who had this technology. The DMF was placed as the fabric of the universes to basically be the pen, paper, clay, food, and substance that can be all things with the correct intention and observation. It is truly the creation substance. The DMF is infinitely, literally sitting in wait until it is observed, intended, or acting upon. Zone. The Milky Way galaxy is located in zone Ni. The universe in which we reside is broken up into approximately 8,872 million zones. A zone is a structured area of space within the universe. A zone may have over 1 billion galaxies in it. All zones of space within the universe are not exactly the same size, but they follow the general shape of a multi-dimensional square. The zone specifications are literally used in the galactic sense as an address for species that can travel. It is quite rare for species to move from zone to zone without also moving through dimensions, as time-space frequency becomes a constraint to such movement. If you are a species that can travel from zone to zone, you are traveling such distances that it is necessary to remove yourself from the dimension in your zone in which aging is a natural occurrence, or you would not live long enough to travel the distance. If you are a species that can travel from zone to zone in a corporal body, you have learned to adjust your energetic frequency blueprint to jump dimensions as well. For example, if you wanted to hang glide from one high-rise in New York to another next to it, you would need to go up to the roof in order to hang glide to the next building. You would need to bypass the floors below you in order to do this. You could not hang glide from the 30th floor to the 30th floor on the next building over, as you would run into the side of that building. You would be constrained by the form of that building. However, if you were able to move to the uppermost roof dimension of the building, you could easily hang glide from the roof to the next roof and then go back down to the lower floors of that building. The zones of the universe are just so. You can only move from one to the next by moving up dimensions in order to bypass the organic time issue. There are, to my knowledge, 5 species habituating the zone in which Earth resides who are capable of this at present. Needless to say, it is enough to know that the zone that Earth resides in is as big as what scientists would call the known universe. What they are seeing as the whole universe at this time is really just the Ni zone. Strata. Within the strata of each zone, there exists what you would call a 3-dimensional structural grid that is held together with a 4th-dimensional time-energy-frequency signature. The 4th-dimensional time-energy-frequency signature is a pure energy source which allows for instant, lateral, vertical, and free-form movement throughout the universe. The 4th dimension of energy is what your scientists call zero-point energy. This source will and can become whatever is asked of it at any given moment on the time continuum. This energy is literally potential. This energy is everywhere all of the time. The zero-point energy is one factor within the DMF. It is wholly purposed to be waiting for molding into the intention of sentient beings. The Creator God's clay, if you will. What this means is that if, for instance, you were to visit a planet in the 6-2 strata where Earth resides, but the planet was at a different frequency level of the 6-2 strata than Earth, you would come to rest at the exact frequency of that planet's sun and node spacetime. In order to travel to Earth, you would need to have Earth's exact time, spatial, frequency, zone, strata, level, sun, node, address, so to speak. The fourth dimension of energy is connected directly to the dark matter fabric and is the keyboard, if you will, which allows for physical movement and time direction throughout our universe. This 0 point energy is what allows my group to coalesce at a specific point in order to work together. It is the same energy that Einstein referred to as spooky attraction. The fourth dimensional energy, 0 point energy, actually responds to intention by sentient beings. Your scientists are attempting at this point to mechanically find, maneuver, and control 0 point energy, and what they should be doing is understanding that intention must come into the picture to fully utilize it. There are species in this galaxy who have learned to equip AI to have this correct intention in order to control and maneuver spacecraft vessels throughout the zones. These species have actually evolved the understanding of how to impart upon artificial intelligence the ability to intend itself, and thereby a vessel filled with beings along the lines of the fourth time-space frequency to specific addresses in the universe. Earth is quite far away from this knowledge, evolutionarily speaking, but it is in the future for humans from Earth should the planet survive the shifting times to come. Level. There are almost uncountable, at least in human terms, levels in each strata. This is because each level has its own frequency. Frequencies are divided by such minuscule changes in the numerological system that the counting of them becomes beside the point. There are different numbers of levels in each strata of each zone, not unlike very populated cities on your planet when compared to rural regions on your planet. The more populated planets there are in a galaxy, the more closely aggregated the energetic frequency strata and levels of a zone will be. Overlaying the whole of a level will be all of the energetic species level, which I spoke of earlier. This is held together by the union of the dark matter and the fourth dimensional time-space 0 point energy. Galaxy. The Milky Way galaxy in which Earth's solar node resides is within level 4.2963 of strata 6.2 of zone Ni. You will notice that the galaxy itself does not need a particular frequency for travel. The frequency of the solar node of the Earth's planetary sun and node are all that is needed to travel. The galaxies within a particular level all carry the frequency of that level. What is needed is the particular sun node frequency that is specific. As an interesting aside, humans on your planet who are beginning to learn the art of astral travel are actually accessing the fourth dimensional time-space 0 point energy frequency system. Unknowingly, these travelers are accessing this plane in order to be at the exact frequency. I digress, and I will speak more on that later. With the simple explanations given, you might liken the frequency, time, space, and position in reality of your planet to be similar to a very, very distinct mailing address. Keep in mind, this example is not to be taken as a metaphor in whole, as the distinct Z NIS 62 L 4.2963 S 129734.9 F NP 18 is the actual place in time-space frequency that Earth resides in within the universal structure. With this information, species that have mastered traveling in the multidimensional space-time frequency will and have been able to travel to Earth's very point of being. I use the term point of being because the universe is set up in so many levels and strata that it is a system of time, place, frequency, and as Earth might understand it, does not apply. The point of being is the most functional process for all that exists in the universe. I also want to delineate that multidimensional space-time frequency within this universe is what I am speaking of. There is no allowable multi-universal travel allowed at this time. Earth scientists at this time are only just realizing multi-dimensional space-time and mislabeling it as multi-universe theory. The realization of this is only approximately 25 Earth years from full evolution. That is to say that within 25 years, science on this planet will understand fully and embrace the multidimensional space-time movement in its actual reality. If you were, for example, a species living in Zone F, your species will have fully embraced and evolved the ability to travel to most areas of this universe. Should a scientific party of researchers on your planet be interested to seek out a very primitive species, which was a distant cousin to your own, Earth, for example, they would first apply the points of being that they already knew may harbor planets which support those kinds of life forms, that is, humans. This procedure that is highly evolved species would employ in order to determine where it might visit would be by seeking out not only the address of such planets, but also the energetic signature of the species that lived upon the planet. You as humans have an energetic organic signature which can be read. All species have such energetic signatures, and they are linked to the same address signature which the planet or planets upon which they reside, a sort of home energy signature. For example, if a human was taken up in a vessel of some more evolved being from a higher zone, even if that human was transported to zones well above and beyond Earth's evolution, he or she would retain the energetic signature of Earth and humans. This would be the same for any humanoid from any planet. If, for example, a humanoid much like yourself was taken from a planet well across your Milky Way galaxy to zones above his or her own, that humanoid would share the humanoid energy signature, but not the Earth frequency signature. He or she would have his or her own planet's energy signature mixed with the humanoid signature. I also want to be sure that you understand that only species that have been gifted souls will have the full energy signature address. There are throughout the universe species that are no longer or have been constructed not to possess any organic soul or material. All species that have fully traversed the bridge of robotic or non-soul based intelligence have no connection to the Creator God. On Earth, you would call these beings AI or artificial intelligence. At the point that a species replicates its intellect without retaining the soul's connection with the Creator God, the soul is released for a final time. This is not the intent of the Creator God, as mechanical evolution has no pure growth potential in the sense of dignity, love, artistic endeavor, mathematical elegance, innovation, color, or intellectual diversity. Machinery can only realize itself and ultimately becomes a statue in the end. Again, this is not the Creator God's wish. Free will requires a soul. Free will is the objective of growth and manifestation, after all. The being that is fully robotic and has fully computerized memory will have the energetic signature of its original planet or origin, but no kind of energetic species marker from the Creator God will be present. The species of origin will only be discernible by manually searching its functional history for the original species or maker. The offspring of these species, if there are any, will be created or born without any connection to a soul or the Creator God. Earth is only in the past few thousand years becoming capable of understanding the space-time frequency in which it resides. With the shifting evolution of the whole Milky Way galaxy at this time, humanoids on this planet will begin to understand that there is a multi-dimensional universe existing just outside of Earth's view, and it is literally teeming with life.